Hey guys, SweetBananaGaming here, coach of your Orlando Solgaleo, here with a PGBL Season 2 Week 11 Team Builder video for you guys. It's coming in a little bit late, but given all of the issues we had with Week 10, we're going to try to get this up by the beginning of just after Week 11. So hopefully, like, this might be up on Sunday with the battle up on Monday, something like that, hopefully. So we're going to give you the rundown of my team for our battle against the South Texas Sableyes. Now, South Texas Sableyes is an excellent team, one of the top teams from the previous season, and just very, very good opponent, Vivid is. But we're going to go ahead and take an overview of his team. He's got some pretty heavy hitters. That Mega Heracross is going to be a huge threat, not surprisingly. If its stats weren't enough, it's got Skill Link, and of course the Hydreigon and the Jirachi are big threats. The Archeops could be a threat as well. It's pretty fast. But if you'll notice, apart from the Archeops and I guess kind of Hydreigon and Jirachi, but in general, most of the Pokemon on this team are pretty slow. He's got a Trick Room synergy working here, with the Porygon 2 being a prime suspect to set a Trick Room. So keeping that in mind, given that the heavy hitters on my team, like Absol and Naganadel, are very fast Pokemon, I feel like the possibility of him running a Trick Room set is very real. Now, I'm kind of running this, the team that I chose, I'm trying this out, hopefully if I get these Pokemon, these new sets ready in time. I'm going to try a way to kind of hedge my bets and kind of play the field of keep my heavy hitters fast, but have ways to work around the whole Trick Room scenario, hopefully. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to go through each Pokemon one at a time. Mostly the same Pokemon that we had in the previous week, with slightly different sets. Okay, so this Absol is actually the same Absol as last week, same set. No surprise. The only question is in the third move slot where I have Protect. Protect was there as an idea to help stall out Trick Room if I need to. But then I also thought, like, oh, it could run Play Rough because the Hydreigon, it does a lot to the Hydreigon. It one-shots the Hydreigon, Fairy-type move. It does a huge amount to the Mega Heracross, so it might be a good move to have. I do want to keep Knockoff on, because I'm going to need it to remove the Eviolite that I know is going to be on Porygon 2, and the Assault Vest, or maybe Leftovers, that will most likely be on Tangrowth. And also, it'll do a lot to the Jirachi. I mean, even bulky Jirachi on a high roll I can get a one-hit KO. Depends on if it's fully physically invested, then maybe not, but in most spreads of Jirachi, I can take out the Jirachi with it. And then the Sucker Punch is there, another way to do damage, and if I'm in a scenario where we have Trick Room, the slow Pokemon moving first, I can have that Sucker Punch there as an option. And I also want Will-O-Wisp as an option if I'm in there, if I need to maybe try and either with the Mega Heracross, burn the Mega Heracross, maybe physical Jirachi, burn the Jirachi, burn the, I don't know what else, burn the Cloyster maybe, but I don't know, just give me some options. What I might do though is swap out Play Rough for Will-O-Wisp instead, because I can do so much to the Mega Heracross, although I'd still probably need to burn it. I could probably burn it and then Play Rough might be better. I don't know, so that's kind of the little bit, I still need to figure that out, but roughly the same, the usual set. So now we're bringing back Paul, but with a twist. Paul is not going to be bold this week. Hopefully, if I get her prepared in time, we're working on her being more relaxed. She's going to chill out, be a little bit less bold. She's going to relax, take it easy, be slow, just like Slowbro is, because she's going to have some Trick Room synergy. So if Trick Room goes up, she's going to be faster than everything that's not Torkoal on this team, which is good. I mean, now keeping in mind, there's a small chance that he won't bring Trick Room just because he knows that I do have a few Pokemon that could make use of it, but I feel like A, he will, most likely, because again, my main threats are my faster Pokemon, and B, I think on especially Slowbro and Delmise, it's not going to matter. Even if I ran, you know, a different nature and full speed IVs, I don't think it's gonna, I'm gonna be slower than pretty much everything anyway. So it's not a big deal. So running this, there's not really a downside to running this. A little bit on the Clefable, which we'll get to, but yeah, everything else, it's not gonna be a problem at all. So the rest of this, the only thing I was going back and forth on was, do I want Psyshock in case I'm up against Toxapex, but really that's the only thing. I mean, and the Tangrowth, I guess, but I wouldn't really stay in on the Tangrowth anyway. So I mean, Psyshock was the most expendable move in this slot. So the rest of Paul's move pool is going to be the same. With Trick Room, again, I can take advantage of Trick Room. But I do want the option if I'm in like a tight spot and I need to undo Trick Room. I have that as a possibility as well. I can undo the Trick Room if I need to. Or, you know, funny scenario, if he doesn't bring the Trick Room and he brings all his faster Pokemon, I might just turn on Trick Room for myself. You never know. So that gives me some options there. Alright, next we're moving on to Davy Jones. Davy Jones has the same item, the same moveset, the same EV spread as last time. But he is Brave instead of Adamant, so that's the main difference here. Again, just gonna try to take advantage. Base 40 speed, I'm gonna be slower than everything except for Torkoal and Toxapex. So if I run minimum speed, I'm going to be taking huge advantage, again, of the Trick Room. And I was going back and forth, like, do I really need Rapid Spin? Maybe I want a second knockoff user for, like, the Jirachi or the Porygon 2 and Tangrowth, but really, I think it was still best to stick with Rapid Spin just because I'm once again not running Defog on Silvally, and I just want, you know, if I need an option to get rid of rocks, and the Toxapex can set Toxic Spikes, which would be annoying, and potentially a way to bait out the Naganadel, so I do have to keep that in mind. But everything else is going to be the same moveset. I can, Power Whip's going to do a lot of damage, you know, especially to Cloyster and Archeops, although they're not necessarily that strong. I mean, actually, Cloyster has really good natural physical defense, so it has base 180, so you don't even need defensive investment. But in spite of that, I am a guaranteed one-shot for Cloyster with Power Whip on this set. Just generally, Power Whip does a lot of damage to things. Anchor Shot on a bulky Sylveon will do more than half, will be a guaranteed 2-hit KO. Earthquake can do a little chunk to Toxapex and a little chunk to bulky Jirachi. They're both 2-hit KOs. Ignoring, you know, leftovers, Black Sludge, other things, but it's a thing to do big damage. And yeah, that's it. One thing that I might make some use out of was the fact that somebody pointed out to me, it was Saraki Hero, that I didn't realize, or maybe I did, but I kind of just forgot about it, that Anchor Shot prevents your opponent from switching out. And it kind of has synergy with Toxic, which I'm thinking of running on Clefable, which I'll get to in a moment, but I mean, it doesn't work super well when the two moves are on different Pokemon, but if I had a Toxic, if something comes out that's Toxic and then I Anchor Shot it, you know, it would be good. I would kind of force it to stay in there. It's an option. I'm not really thinking of it as a strategy in this case, but it's just, I want to throw that out there, that is a possibility of a series of events that could happen. But let's get to Clefable now. Once again, Clefable, our Clefact here, she's not going to be calm right now, she's going to be sassy. She's going to bring out her sassy side and slow it down a little bit. Same EV spread as before, with, you know, the same moves, other than I'm between Toxic and Stored Power yet again, because just like in the case with Slowbro, I'm thinking about what if I end up 1v1ing Toxapex and it's trying to, you know, outstall me or whatever. I probably wouldn't stay in on Toxapex anyway, which means I don't want to necessarily start setting up with Clefable until the Toxapex is gone. But it was between, so it's between Toxic and Stored Power on there. But again, Toxic could be good. He has 2 immunities to it, but it could be good for things like Tangrowth and Porygon 2 to kind of put a little bit of a timer on it, mean that they can't just, they at least have to keep switching out. They can't just stay in forever. So I'm thinking Toxic is an option. The other thing I have to be, I'm running Unaware specifically because of any boosting Pokemon, as usual. Particularly though the Cloyster, because the very common the very common set to run on Cloyster is of course Shell Smash, which I can completely get around with Unaware. And Unaware just kind of gels pretty good with Cosmic Power because I get to boost myself and they can't like out-boost me. The only negative side is with the Toxapex potentially setting Toxic Spikes or throwing Toxic around, it would be nice to have Magic Guard for that. However, I think Unaware is better in this case because one of the biggest things, like in my experience from the way that I battle, some of the worst experiences I've had is when I've let something start setting up on me. So that's where Unaware is going to come in handy. And also, if I could get enough defensive boosts on this thing, Clefable will be a force to be reckoned with because if I get some defensive boosts so I'm just taking hits, I'm a 2-shot to Mega Heracross, of course a 1-shot to Hydreigon, and I mean the Jirachi is the main thing that, the Jirachi and the Toxapex are the main things that foil me here. The Sylveon doesn't necessarily, we're somewhat evenly matched in that regard, like against the Sylveon. We'd be in a little bit of a stalemate, which is why, again, Cosmic Power kind of nice. It'd be nice. That's again why it's nice to have the Toxic too, so it kind of limits how much I can get outstalled by Sylveon or by Porygon 2 or by Tangrowth. So that's my thought there. There's a chance that I might go for Stored Power instead. I think I'm gonna like make sure it has stored power so that if I need to go and relearn it, if I need to go to Toxic, I just teach it to TM. Whereas if I haven't given it stored power and because I'm just giving it Toxic, then I can't relearn it if I decide I wanted to use it, if that makes sense. So I'll make sure it knows stored power and then probably just replace it with Toxic. I don't know, but that's what I'm between there. So those 3 Pokemon in the middle there, my 3 bulkier Pokemon, I'm trying to get sets made if I can get them by tomorrow. I'm trying to get sets made with their lower speed lowering nature equivalents. So that is in the works, and hopefully I can take advantage of Trick Room there. Now we're moving on to Grapefruit. I'm really enjoying this Silvally spread with the flying memory. Again, it just has good synergy, and it is good against the Mega Heracross, even though Mega Heracross can get Rock Blast. Because I'm running the defense and HP investment that I'm running on this, Rock Blast is a 2-hit KO, and what I mean by that is 2 turns. So, because Rock Blast is going to hit 5 times, and 5 times hitting me is a 2-hit KO. It doesn't take me out, even though it's super effective, boosted by Mega Heracross. So, and Air Slash one-shots it. So if I can get a clean switch into that, if he's, expecting to take me out, that is an option I have there. Again, I like this flying type. The flying type with Air Slash, it kind of covers me well in ways that I don't have necessarily the best flying coverage otherwise. It'll be helpful against the Tangrowth. Now, if the Tangrowth has the Assault Vest on, I'm still only doing up to 46%, but given that that's with Assault Vest, that's pretty good. If I can get rid of Assault Vest, like knock it off or something, or if it's running something else like Leftovers, I'm going to be doing a lot more damage, obviously, so that's going to be nice. Parting Shot, I kept Parting Shot because it's just a good option to have. Thunderbolt, I'm putting Thunderbolt back on. If the, it one-shots the Cloyster, it does a huge, it almost one-shots the Archeops. I wish it did more to the Toxapex, but unfortunately we're only looking at like about 1/3 of its HP against the Toxapex, so I might not have that as a strategy. But Thunderbolt an option, could potentially get the paralysis there. Yeah, and then Surf does a lot to Archeops. Surf is there. Was it for anything else in particular? I'm not sure. I could actually replace this with something else. I'm not sure what. Like Flash Cannon, but Sylveon is especially bulky anyway. I could replace that with a different move, but I don't know. I think that's a pretty decent move. I could replace it with Defog, I guess, but I'm running Rapid Spin already. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good with this. And also, I kept the same speed investment and modest on this one because this is my middle-of-the-road speed kind of Pokemon. I have a pretty high natural base speed anyway, so I'm not going to be heavily invested in speed, so I'm going to play that middle of the road. I can manage with or without Trick Room because there's going to be about half the team I'm outspeeding and half the team I'm not outspeeding either way, so that's that. And again, Adele, I almost considered running Modest instead of Timid because I thought, well, you know, Trick Room will just play Modest. But Modest causes its special attack to be its highest stat, which means if I get Beast Boost, I'm raising my special attack, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. But because I already have Nasty Plot to raise my special attack, I figure it's probably better to continue boosting the speed, because again, it doesn't matter, even if I ran 0 speed investment on this Naganadel, in Trick Room, I'm not going to be outspeeding anything that takes advantage of Trick Room. So I might as well just go with the usual set, so that I have Absol and Naganadel that work without Trick Room, my 3 in the middle, Slowbro, Delmise, and Clefable that work with Trick Room, and then Silvally, which kinda works either way. So anyway, guys, that's my team for week 11. This is the first of the final 2 weeks left in the PGBL Season 2, so if you're excited, go ahead and leave a like. Go ahead and subscribe as well if you haven't already, and click that little bell to make sure you get notifications when my videos go live. And comment. Show your Orlando Solgaleo pride, and yeah, that's about it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're excited. I know I am. We're at the home stretch of this. I will see you next time for more PGBL Season 2, our Week 11 battle, your Orlando Solgaleo versus the South Texas Sableyes. I'll see you then.